You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back to the Cabral Concept. Happy to have you with me here today. Looking forward to today's show. Yesterday, we were able to answer so many of our community's questions. I think we got to about 10 of them, which is great. I'm hoping to get to about 8 to 10 today. Today, they are a bit longer, but nonetheless, we'll be able to answer those for you. And as you can tell, I still have not gotten back full use of my voice. That's one of those things where, just like an injury, it needs a little bit of rest. So I'm looking forward this weekend to being able to give my voice that rest and be able to start fresh again on Monday. So my voice might not be the strongest, but that is okay. We're still going to have a lot of fun going through our community questions, being able to get people the answers that they are looking for. So rather than draw out my intro and tax my voice to any greater degree, we are going to get right into today's show. So the first question is coming from, let's see who it's coming from today. The first one is from Tracy. Tracy is asking, hi, Dr. Paul. My partner has started vaping nicotine recently. I'm concerned about this, and when we've discussed it, he said that nicotine isn't bad for you. It's the tar in cigarettes that is damaging to one's health. I don't feel comfortable with this answer. Would like your opinion of health benefits and detriments by taking nicotine by vaping. Thanks so much for all you do. Love your podcast and find them so helpful. Tracy, really interesting question, and there are actually some benefits to nicotine. However, that does not mean I believe that you should go run out and start to vape nicotine. We also have to look at the delivery method of nicotine. Is it coming still from tobacco? A lot of people will still vape tobacco, not in nicotine isolate. Tobacco is still not going to be healthy to breathe into your lungs and could still lead to lung disease. It's not just the tar and chemicals put in that alone. It's anything inhaled into the lungs on a daily basis, or at least multiple times per week. However, if you had taken nicotine from another delivery method, nicotine has actually been shown to have some beneficial use for Parkinson's or cognitive-based decline. It can also be used in some forms of, let's say, memory-based issues, cognitive issues in general, let's say like with focus, ADD, or even with mild depression. But the reason why nicotine works, just across the board, is that it stimulates dopamine. And if you stimulate dopamine in someone that's not in a lowered state, you're actually going to arouse the body and brain too much. It does that by arousing the nervous system. That means it's going to stimulate your body. If you're someone that's already stimulated, you already deal with anxiety and stress and all of that, well, nicotine's not going to be beneficial to you. Now, for those people, though, who do need a little bit of a dopamine boost, I don't necessarily recommend going right towards nicotine. I recommend figuring out why the body's in that, we'll say, low state, that lower mood, lower nervous system-based state, and begin to correct that. Now, you can actually run an organic acids test to look at your B vitamins. That's a big factor right there. Lower B12, lower B6, and lower folate are many reasons why a lot of people are not able to boost mood and boost dopamine levels in general because of a synergist effect with the neurotransmitters. And then also there are herbs that we can begin to look at that will help with dopamine rather than just using nicotine alone. I've done shows on those in the past. I do hope that you tune into one of my previous podcasts on the missing neurotransmitter. All you need to do is go to stephencabral.com/podcasts and type in neurotransmitter, Neuro transmitter, and you will find that at stephencabral.com/podcasts, and it will talk about the signs of low dopamine. That will give you a much more in-depth look. Okay, Jenine is up next. Janine's question is quite long, So I'm going to give you the gist of her question. And then for everybody who's looking to read the whole question, well, simply go to stephencabral.com/1066 for all of today's questions and show notes. All right, she's saying, Janine's writing in, I'm feeling very spiritually compelled to work with Dr. Cabral. I'm really hoping you guys can work with me. In January of 2017, so that's 2 years ago, at 38, I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, and that may lead to liver, lung, and other lymph node-based issues. I was shocked, to say the least. Since then, I've done 1.5 years of chemotherapy, worked with a functional medicine doctor. I've juiced, became vegan, and my cancer did not show any tumors on the scans for about 6 months. The tumors showed up again in November, and after more chemotherapy this past spring, we decided to do clinical trial immunotherapy. My other issues are colitis, arthritis. I try to do fish once a week, eggs a few times a week. I've looked into Ayurveda. I know he has a waiting list, or is there another way? All right. So basically, she's asking how to work with the practice. And I was just going to say, with a question this in depth, this is not an Ask Cabral question, of course, unless you're looking to say, am I in the right place? Should I get started this way? My highest recommendation is to work with a local practitioner or apply to our practice. I just want you to know, personally, I have a couple-month waiting list, but you can work with my health coaches typically within about 3 weeks, their waiting list. They still have a waiting list because we're very busy in our practice, but typically it's weeks and not months, such as myself. To apply to the practice, our team will help you basically literally take you by the hand because we want to make sure people get the help they deserve. And you can simply you can email us at support@stephencabral.com. All right, Christina is up next. Let's see this question. Dear Dr. Cabral, I've always been a health and fitness enthusiast, so I'm dealing with a sudden medical issue that's been shocking to me. Found out I was pregnant 3 weeks, and we were over the moon with excitement. At 7 weeks, I started bleeding, and it was dismissed as a miscarriage. After pressing several doctors, the ultrasound finally went agreed. They discovered a mass in one of my fallopian tubes. It was an ectopic pregnancy. We were devastated, but given the option to treat with methotrexate injections or surgery, I chose the methotrexate, which has been disturbing to say the least, thinking about all the chemicals, worrying about the drug's effectiveness. My question to you is, what would you recommend to be the most effective way to cleanse my liver of all these toxins to replenish my body with nutrients? Also, in what order? Replenish with nutrients, folate, rich foods, then cleanse towards the end of the 3-month wait? Thank you, Dr. Cabral. Thank you for writing in, Christina, and I'm sorry to hear about your previous health issues, but I know that this is it's part of your journey as well, right? We each have our hardships and we each have our journey, and it doesn't make it any less trying, that's for sure, right? Like every time someone I see in my practice is dealing with their own issues, it's not enough for me to say, you will get well and this is all part of your journey, but it's nonetheless true, right? So you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn a lot about your relationships, and I hope that it will deepen them with your own health resolve and relationships as well. So here's what I would like to do. I mean, again, am I biased? Sure, but I created it from scratch. So our functional medicine detox, the Dr. Cabral Detox, is the hands down the best way to give your liver everything that it needs to detox. I don't detox you. The nutrients that are in that is what helps to detox. So that's the first place to start. And that will also include your folate and nutrients that you need. So I would recommend a 21-day Dr. Cabral Detox. And then after that, I would recommend the Dr. Cabral Daily Protocol. I would also add another 400 micrograms of nature folate or methylfolate to that. So that's exactly what I would do. You could do 2 capsules of the activated B complex along with the Dr. Cabral Daily Protocol, also called the Daily Foundational Protocol, and add the omega-3s to that. Or I would add the activated B complex on top of that if you're not doing the separate 400 micrograms of nature folate or 5-methylfolate. So that's exactly what I would do. I mean, that's literally it. And if you want to see after 8 weeks, if all your nutrients are back up to where they should be, you can run an organic acids test and a hair tissue mineral analysis, although I will wait 3 months for that. Christina, that will give you all the information you need using that starter kit and doing the 21-day detox to start. That's the best place, and then follow up with those products, which are the daily nutritional support, daily fruit and vegetable blend, daily probiotic support, omega-3, and you'll do either the activated B complex or you will do the 400 micrograms of a straight methylfolate. All right? Colin's up next. I wasn't sure if this is the best avenue to ask you a question, but I figured I'd give it a shot. was totally blown away by your 2-hour video with Mind Pump TV a few weeks ago on YouTube. The things it made me think about, of which I've never have before, were a huge eye-opener. I really appreciate your approach. My question is this. I have read CBD reduces inflammation. Is the same type of inflammation that a hard weight training workout induces, the kind that is necessary for muscle growth? Asking because I'm wondering if it would be a negative to use CBD like taking NSAIDs, which hinder the recovery process from working. Is this logical? I just started using relatively low doses to assist me in getting sleep back on track, but I'd hate to be negating all of the effects of a hard day's work in the gym. Appreciate you taking the time to read this if you can. Thanks so much, Colin. Colin, great question. This came in on, I have to do my math here, October 15th. And yes, the Mind Pump interview that I did, it's just Mind Pump like it sounds. That was an interview I did in California with the 3 guys over there. That was amazing. Really great show. Super enjoyed talking with those guys. We could have talked for like literally 8 hours. I think the show was like 2.5 hours. And that was a great interview. If you haven't checked it out, head on over to Mind Pump. Let them know you enjoyed the show and check it out. So, Colin, this is a really great frame of thinking, and you are correct. You're correct in your thinking. If you overdo antioxidants, like let's say you take 10 grams of vitamin C a day, massive dosages of vitamin E, etc. A little vitamin C, fine. Vitamin E in a normal methylated, overall multivitamin, absolutely great. But you don't want to overdo it because the muscle inflammation you get is actually part of the repair process. So you want to repair those muscles. That's a good thing. You don't want to do that. That's why you don't want to overdo your antioxidants directly after workout. At night, in the morning, away from your workout, fine. CBD is a little bit different. CBD is a modulator of inflammation. Yes, it works as an antioxidant as well, and therefore I would not use it directly after my workouts. If you are using 25 to 50 milligrams at night for sleep, like our CBD oil that we recommend, and that's exactly how I recommend using it, 25 to 50 milligrams before bed. If you were using a couple 100 milligrams on a daily basis, no, I would not recommend that. So, Colin, really great question, and that is that. Let's go on to the next question, which is from Sonia. Sonia is asking, my name is Sonia. I'm 33 years old, and almost 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. After taking 5 different anti-epileptic drugs during these years and experiencing bad side effects, I'm finally almost completely drug-free and take around 100 milligrams CBD daily. The seizures, however, remained. After testing my hormones, I knew it was due to low progesterone. I'm supplementing with bioidentical progesterone cream, and I'm seizure-free since. That's amazing, Sonia. I'm so happy to hear that. But all the medication left my hormones imbalanced, and I'm not feeling well despite the natural remedies, herbs, and supplements. I'm getting better. Anxiety, insomnia are almost gone, and so is the hormonal acne, but my T3 is low. I tested my vitamin D, and it was 12 despite taking 2,000 IUs daily. My doctor recommends running the Big 5 lab test, but before investing, I'd like to know the correct order. Should I stop supplements before? Take many, especially for hormone balance. Should I detox before? I hope it's okay to ask these questions. Sonia, great question. Really great question. I know this came in October, and you're now getting it about 11 weeks later, but that's how they work in the queue. Yes, that's exactly what I would do is I would run the Big 5, but I would continue to take the supplements you're taking. I would just stop them just 24 to 48 hours before, that's all. And the reason why I would continue with the supplements is because I want to know what you're taking right now and the dosages, and I know then how they're working with your body, right? So that's really important to me. So for example, vitamin D, 2,000 IUs is clearly not enough for you, right? But what's also important is to understand that yes, we need more than 2,000 IUs a day, most likely 5,000 IUs. We're not doing a mega dose, but we're doing a more of an adult-based dose. But we're also going to use the cofactors because if you're low in vitamin K, if you're low in magnesium, and you're low in calcium, you're not going to be able to absorb that vitamin D as well. So it's not always the dosage of vitamin D, it's also the cofactors. In terms of your T3 being low, I'd want to know, is it because of higher stress and cortisol, or is it because you lack a lot of those thyroid-based minerals, or is it because you're higher in some of the toxins that go along with depleting your thyroid, such as fluoride, chlorine, arsenic, mercury, aluminum. So the Big 5 will tell us those. There's no better place to start, and that's what I would do. So keep going with your supplements. Sounds like you're doing great. Then I would run the Big 5, and we will absolutely give you the exact protocol that we would recommend for you. So great question. You've already done so much amazing work. And unlike the last question, which was asking about CBD dosage. I absolutely do recommend the higher dosages of CBD in those people with epilepsy. It has been shown to be absolutely phenomenal. However, people often need 200, 300 milligrams or more per day of CBD, and they need that 2 to 3 times per day. And that has been shown to work not only for humans, but also animals as well that have to deal with seizures. So I do hope that that works great. And it works for children too. So, that's the nice thing. I apologize about my voice cracking. Believe me when I say that the body feels great, the mind feels great. What doesn't feel great is this voice. So as long as you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. All right. We have a question from Christina. I'm not sure if it's the same Christina as before, but could be different. So it says, "Hi, Dr. Ball. You do not recommend a detox while breastfeeding, which I understand. What are some ancient traditions that you can share regarding mother's health during a long-term breastfeeding relationship, 2 years and beyond? In many ancient cultures, and currently in many cultures around the world, nursing is common for many years. Between long-term breastfeeding and multiple pregnancies that resulted in larger families, we have 4 beautiful children. I've struggled to remain in robust health. What suggestion could you share for overcoming deficiencies and regaining energy and vitality in the situation? Is there anything special to share from your international studies? Thank you." Christina, really great question. I've actually answered this in depth on Melissa Ambrosini's podcast on how to have a healthy pregnancy. Let's see if we can get you that link. If not, you'll be able to find it on her show. But the other thing is this, I'm happy to give you the answer, is that you will still be detoxifying on your own, meaning you can still use the daily nutritional support shake, the daily fruit and vegetable blend, and the probiotic during pregnancy and after. If you do that every morning with a smoothie, you're going to get a very slow detoxification-based process over the period of weeks and months rather than doing a stronger detox, right? And you're also going to get a natural chelation effect of heavy metals in your body. Not a big one, but a small one, by eating the cruciferous vegetables, by eating cilantro and parsley in your diet. That will also come from using the daily fruit and vegetable blend. The other thing that I'm recommending is you do that smoothie, just like I recommend, but you also may look into a 1 day a week of a intermittent fast where you go from Sunday night to Monday night or any day of the week. So you're still eating every day, but you do go 24 hours. Now, this would not be done while exclusively breastfeeding, but as your child gets to 6 months old or so and you decide to do a little bit of baby-led weaning where they start to eat some whole food on their own, then you might decide that as long as it does not start to dry up your own milk supply, then you might do a little bit of not daily, but 1 day a week of a longer fast. I would also, again, if you are getting 60 to 80% of your diet from plant-based nutrients, you are going to be naturally detoxifying on a daily basis. You will also want to get at least 8 glasses of water per day, and that will help to flush your system. Plus, you need to produce more milk, which means you cannot be dehydrated, which means typically the minimum we're looking for glasses of water, and that includes your smoothie, is at least 10 to 12 glasses per day. In order to build up your body, again, you're going to do the Dr. Ball Daily Protocol, and you may also include more minerals per day, right? So you might decide to do, if you're not vegan, you might decide to do some type of bone broth, or you may decide to use our advanced collagen support, which I highly recommend. Our advanced collagen support, I'm not a great marketer, right? I'm not a marketing person, but I can tell you this, there's no better collagen product in the world. And the reason there is because there's no better way to assimilate collagen than what we have in our advanced collagen support. Collagen is going to come from the same places. There's no mystery about that. However, the delivery method is what differs. Ours uses less animal-based product, which we like, but enables you to get actually 3 times the amount of collagen in terms of absorption. So that's really, really great. The other thing that you can look into is minerals, right? So you want a lot of mineral-rich food. Your broth would absolutely have that, but if you're not against eating a clean, pastured-based chicken liver or some type of, again, grass-fed beef liver, you would actually get a lot of the minerals from that. This is not for everyone, of course, but for a lot of people in ancient-based societies, they absolutely did do either, and I've talked about this before, so look up placenta encapsulation on a previous podcast. But one of the reasons why that's not as great is because if you weren't eating the best diet before, or you did have heavy metals, well, then you might be taking that in as well. But that's why the liver can replace a lot of those nutrients too. If you're vegan, you don't need to eat liver. Like, that's okay, and that's not something I recommend a ton in my practice, but this would be one way to get a lot of those nutrients. Simply put, we see people go on my daily protocol, which again is in the daily nutritional support shake, the daily fruit vegetable blend. You'll use some good omegas, and you'll use your daily probiotic support, and you'll be able to rejuvenate that body. You use the advanced collagen support, you're going to be doing absolutely fantastic. Great question, Christina. All right, let's do one more question. We'll save my voice, and I look forward then to being back for our Motivation and Mindset Monday with hopefully a little bit more of a motivating voice than this. All right, Lorraine is up next. I am suddenly, but not suddenly, having stomach issues, it says. I have for a long time had discomfort after eating, I think. Cooked onions, mushrooms, Brussels sprouts, whey protein. In the last 6 weeks, I decided to eat healthy, which includes now eating all of that, plus I cut out sugar, a lot of salt, no eating out. And my gut is brutal. For me and everyone I live with, extreme gas and hard to stuck out stomach, and I just feel bad, ! I think eating healthy is making me sick. Please help Lorraine. Lorraine, I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what you're talking about. Again, even though I, of course, cannot treat, diagnose, or cure disease, that's for the realm of medical doctors only, right? What we do here is we look at the underlying root causes. You just said onions. You just talked about mushrooms. You just talked about Brussels sprouts and whey protein. All of these items right here are higher in fructans or fructo, oligo, di, mono, and polysaccharides. What does that mean? They are all fermentable-based foods. They will all allow your body to proliferate candida or bacterial overgrowth if there is an overgrowth of those. Easy way to figure this out, Lorraine, run the organic acids test, and if you're able to run the stool test, you will absolutely get your data, your proof right there. And if you have overgrowth of candida, you have overgrowth of bacteria in your gut, we will help you through the sensitive gut guide, of course, but also through the entire protocol, which is the Candida and Bacterial Overgrowth Protocol. We've used that, I don't even know how many times, 10,000 plus times with people all over the world. We literally ship it to 19 countries. So if you didn't want to run the labs, if they were out of range for you, totally understand. And you could simply get right into the Candida and Bacterial Overgrowth Protocol plus the citricidal drops. And you would also use your daily nutritional support shake for breakfast. That is exactly what I would do. I would run the labs first if you're able to. If not, get right into that Candida and Bacterial Overgrowth Protocol with the addition of the citricidal drops. We use those in our practice for the first 3 weeks. Thank you, everyone who tuned in today. Thank you, everyone, for dealing with my voice. I do apologize. It will be stronger next week, and look forward to speaking with you then. I hope you're having a great weekend. And as always, if this show was helpful, please do feel free to pass along to anyone else it could serve. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stephencabral.com/resources.